what they said. They had gone back and had seen improvement.
We can keep up with the situation.
Thank you.
And we'll work with Doctor.
Thank you.
So they've seen improvements. Okay.
Can I ask a question? One more question.
Yes.
The option 2 ordinance says 75 days. So if we approve that, does she get 75 days? Or does she still just get the 60 days since the ordinance is only good for 60 days?
I think, the idea when that ordinance was prepared was that it would be ultimately readopted as a permanent ordinance.
And 60 days.
So you'd still have the same sort of problem.
Okay.
But frankly, the way it's worded, right now, if you just put in 60 days, it's going to read that it's 60 days from the date that notice was received to remove the animals, which was probably about 30 days ago. So that only nets out about 30 days. So it would make sense probably to put it at 90 days, which would give you the 60 days until it expires, and then you could redo it for another 60 days after that.
Oh, as long as we stick to when notice was served.
I think you have to factor that in.
Okay, that was.
Yes, sir.
And since notice was 30 days ahead of time, our 60 days our 90 days would still be in that 60-day window.
Right.
Because no matter what we put in this ordinance, at the 61st day, it goes away.
It goes away unless you've gone through the public hearing process and readopted it.
Right, but it's going to go away, period.
Right.
Because we would have to, if we don't do anything, it goes away, or we adopt a new permanent ordinance.
Yes, sir. And part of what Mr. Parton mentioned earlier, I think staff was thinking that they might do some more research on the entire issue within the extension period and see if there's something else that could be proposed as a permanent ordinance. I don't know if that's possible or not.
Okay, we can entertain a motion for 90 days, which will include the 30 days that's already.
Mr. Chairman, I would ask that, I make a motion that we approve option 2, but changing the 60-day to allowing a 90-day from the date of notice.
Just to make it,
Changing the
just
45
to change
days
the
of
45
receipt
to
to
90 days and delete the sentence about the 30-day extension.
Okay, that's my motion.
Second. It's been moved and properly second that we would change the 45-day to 90 days. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, could I ask you as the chair to direct staff to place this on the second meeting in January's agenda, because that's when it'll come up?
And I'll come down if you like.
I would love to have it.
Okay, that takes us to agenda item 9, proposed amendment of solid waste convenience site standard operating procedures manual. Is that you, Mr. Parton?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, as you recall, this item was also discussed at the last meeting, and there appeared to be consensus on the additional hours, adding Saturdays, new Saturday hours from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., but not for opening the sites on Wednesdays again. And there also appeared to be support for closing the sites for a half day on Christmas Eve, but again, not the additional holidays that staff had previously recommended. There was no action taken on any of those items to actually amend the solid waste procedures manual, so we would ask that you do that. But the main item that was not resolved and the board wanted more time to consider was the recommendations on the accepting construction waste under limited circumstances in small amounts at the Bowling Green site only. So staff's looking for guidance from the board on those issues.
Mr. Chairman, if I may?
Yes, sir. Mr.
I didn't have a problem with the additional hours, and I think Mr. Schiebel has been in contact with someone recently who could talk about the retaining wall and things of that nature. But I thought we were going to give us a little more time to discuss construction debris. And I thought we were going to look at that like in January. So,
Whatever the board's pleasure is, we,
I mean, that was something we talked about before.
What we could do is if the board doesn't have an issue with it, we're probably not going to see a major change between now and January anyway. We can just refer this to the agenda in January, and the board can make one decision at that time if that's agreeable.
Now, if he wants to extend the hours now, that's fine.
But okay, I duly noted, okay,
Mr. Chairman, you know, I talked to a couple of folks who work at the convenience sites, and they were concerned, a couple of people were concerned at different sites, that we didn't really get their input in terms of what they thought. I mean, they know the heaviest days of trash usage, and I think we may have need to do a little more investigation as well.
duly noted.
I'm not sure how other board members feel, but I mean, no question we need.
I thought it was brought to us that 7 in the morning opening was like one of the key times that needed to be done. And I thought that had gone through staff, so this is news. I mean, because we're opening now, what time, Mr. Shebel, 9?
No, before 9.
Saturday.
No,
Well, I
before
think
9.
it's Saturday.
All right, close at 8 o'clock, let's open it
Not Saturday.
Saturdays, we open at 9 a.m. and we close at 5 p.m.
on Saturday.
on
Right,
Saturdays.
and that's what we were talking about, was 7 to 7 on Saturday. That was the one change.
But when we said that at the last meeting, Mr. Shebel said we'll do that starting January.
But the board never made any official motion to do that or appropriations of budget.
But I mean, that's what you said, we'll do it in January. So you didn't start doing it right away.
We said we're going to start in January timeframe, but the board never made an official motion.
Okay. Why do you have to wait till January?
We didn't. We were just trying to get everything straight because we got to change the signs.
Okay. And is the landfill open tomorrow since it's Wednesday and it's the day
is not.
before Thanksgiving?
It is not.
So it's closed 2 days in a row?
Yes, sir.
So my trash is still there, okay, my bad.
We'll throw it over the fence, right?
I thought sure it was going to be open the day before Thanksgiving.
We have in the past, we did not do it again last year, but the 3 years prior to that, because we're normally closed, people don't come. It is, nobody shows up because they don't even read the paper that they're open on Wednesdays and think about it.
Mr.
Can I take my trash?
Mr. Underwood talked about, and I don't know how the board feels about this, but his suggestion was talking to other employees at the various sites. And I don't, and that's up to the board.
Have you talked to the folks working at, I mean, what's their response?
To opening additional hours, depending on the employee, some of them want to work as much as they can. We go by the complaints that we get at the office of when people call. Saturdays are our biggest complaints. Why are you closed on Wednesday is our second complaint. Why are your hours on Sunday is our third complaint. Those are the complaints that we get on a regular basis at the office. So it's really driven by the citizens, and we're here to serve the citizens, and as the board directs us to do.
And I think the other thing is the more people you ask, the more different opinions you're going to get as well. So.
Did we find somebody to talk to about the brick wall?
I did and spoke with them, and they said that that would be something that they might be able to do in the spring of the year. As we're coming into the
Right.
time of year that's not the best to do that.
Yep.
We would have to have an engineer to engineer the wall so it could be built, since it is going to be retaining the earth there.
Right.
But they thought that that was something that could be done, provided that the class moved forward.
Okay. Two things. We can extend the hours and make that immediate, and then come back in January for any other changes, or we can just table the entire issue until January. It's up to the board. Again, we can extend the hours now and then come back in January for additional changes.
Get implemented.
Weren't we saying we could extend the hours now? Mr. Shebel was saying there wasn't a budget allocation? I think I saw $16,000 in here for the hours.
That's an annual expense on behalf of that.
Annual expense.
Yes, sir.
So if we do it now, we are 6 months into the fiscal year, so it'll be half of that.
That's correct.
So I'm sure we can find that much money to extend the hours now.
Just make a motion.
Well, we really have to be fair to Mr. Shebel and start it in January, so you have time to change signage and people understand it's changing. And you've got to line up employees to work that.
How long does it take to put a sticky thing over the,
It doesn't take long. The biggest
Okay.
thing is schedules out. We just got to change schedules and get people to work additional hours. That can be done.
you can do it in December?
Yes, sir.
Sometime in December?
We can start whenever the board would like.
I'll make the motion that we extend the hours of the convenience sites on Saturday as staff has recommended from 7 to 7.
Second.
And that Mr. Shebel will start those in December as his staffing requirement schedule allows. Second?
Second.
Okay.
Are we also going to add half a day on Christmas Eve to the holiday schedule?
Well, Christmas is on a Friday this year, so I don't have to worry about not going to the thing on Wednesday because I can go Thursday. But if I only have half a day on Thursday, I've missed Wednesday. Then if I miss the half a day Thursday and you're closed on Friday,
Buy an extra garbage can.
some of us don't live in the town and have that luxury.
We only have trash pickup once a week. You miss Friday, you're done.
Well, you're going to miss Christmas. You'll be done this.
But we're already figuring we're missing Christmas. That was the very
So
discussion.
you should
is-
sympathize then. I'm just saying. If you want
So
to.
your motion does not include the
My motion
half
had
day.
nothing to do with,
The half day.
Wednesday, the day before Christmas.
Exactly.
I'm just saying extend the hours. If I could call the question on my motion, I would appreciate it.
Question? It's been moved and properly second that we approve the extended hours as presented. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm drinking Kool-Aid.
The proposed visitor center rental policy. Is that?
Mr. Chairman, the two unresolved issues with regard to this proposed policy was determining the cost to rent the facility and also clarification on the insurance coverage of the building and its contents. And staff has proposed a fee to rent the facility. It ranges from $175 for 1 hour, which would be the minimal time period. Then it increases by $25 per hour until you get to $250 for the 4-hour maximum rental. That's made up of $125, which is our cleaning cost that we've been quoted to clean the facility, $25 for setup and takedown, and then $25 an hour to cover the personnel, because there may be times when we have to pay overtime to full-time personnel to be able to do that. With regard to the insurance issue, we talked to Vacor, the county's carrier, and they advised that, strongly recommended that we require a certificate of liability insurance coverage that names the county as a co-insured in the amount of $1 million, which sounds like a lot, but that's their standard recommendation for any type of use. And they did indicate that they make available coverage in that amount for $100 to $150, and you may even be able to get it cheaper from a local carrier. I don't know, but that option is available from Vacor for between $100 and $150. So those were the issues that we were asked to follow up on last time, and you have a draft number 3 policy before you for consideration.
Board members have questions? Mr. Black?
Yeah, I just have, first of all, I want to thank the staff, whoever worked on this, for putting this together. I just have a couple questions, I guess. As far as the insurance that you had just talked about, Mr. Parton, Vacor insurance, do we do that with the facilities here when we rent them out? Do we require that here?
I believe the current policy, and we may want to consider changing this, indicates that it'll be reviewed on a case-by-case basis. In light of what Baycor has just recommended, we may want to consider changing that to match this policy.
So as of right now, it's not
It's a
required.
it's not absolutely required.
Okay, other questions?
Yeah, the other concern I guess I was going to have is, what was the reason for, I guess I'm thinking in terms of, the rental. My only thing is why not extend it for another hour if they have to pay, so that they could do a total of 5 hours if they wanted to.
You'd be at 11:30 at that point was the only thinking. It operates as a visitor center during the day until 5 o'clock, and so only the evening hours are available. We wanted to leave some time to set up and clean up.
Would it be possible to say 5 hours on the weekends, Fridays and Saturdays?
If that's the board's
So
desire.
we could do 4 hours on the weekdays and then 5 hours if they wanted to on Friday and
That's a
Saturday?
good idea.
That's the board's wish. Sure.
Yeah, we could just,
It just raises the cost by
They're not
25.
open on Saturday.
but it would be up to the user. I mean, if they didn't want to.
Well, I understand that, but they would have the option.
Yeah, but they would have the option. Yeah. Okay, other concerns? If not, a motion is in order.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make the motion that we adopt the policy for rental of the visitor center with the change, the amendment for 5 hours rental availability on Friday and Saturday.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we approve the policy as presented for the rental of the visitor center with the extension of an hour on the weekend. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Mr. Parton?
Agenda item 11
Mr. Chairman, can you just bring that back to us for these facilities then, if we need it for these facilities? Can that come back to us at December 8th or sometime in January as far as the insurance? Yes. Because I think if we're going to have the insurance there, I think we need to be consistent. Okay.
But it's a little,
Okay.
it's a lot more.
Okay, agenda item 11 has been requested to be pulled. The person making the request has asked for additional time. So that being said, we'll bring agenda item 11 back either at the next meeting or when the person requesting it is ready for the board to get it. All right, that takes us to agenda item 12, proposed purchase of replacement fire engine. Chief Loftus.
End of the night.
On a high note.
Very last one. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, good evening. After 33 years, I'm requesting the board consider approval to replace the Port Royal engine, or Engine 3. Engine 3 is a 1984 E1 with a 4-man open cab. It is the last of those for Caroline County. It means no doors on the back. With a 1,250-gallon pump, 750 gallons of water, and about 90 cubic feet of storage. The truck has seen its useful life. What we're asking the board to consider is a new 2016 6-man Pierce Sabre with 1,000 gallons of water, 1,500 GPM pump, and about 180 cubic feet of storage on the truck. Cost of the apparatus, we're asking for $436,579 with a prepayment of $300,000 up front to come from debt service. Also asking for a 5% contingency to come out of Fire Rescue Reserve, not part of the debt service, of $22,500 for the truck. The engine for Port Royal is a little bit challenged, both in height and in length. And so we had to get a truck that was going to be much shorter than what we normally buy and a little bit less in length. So with that, we did find a truck, and we found it for a very good price. It will require some modification of the station, basically a 3-foot section where the garage door opener hangs down below the height of the door. It's a 10-foot door. Right now, the opening, you can get a 10-foot in the back, but you're going to run right into the garage door at 9 feet 3 inches. So we're going to raise that up to get a full height on the door. spoken with Kevin Whiteman, and we have a plan to go forth and get that done. That'll be funded out of the operations budget in the next year. The truck will take about 315 days to build and about another 45 days to equip and be ready for service about this time next year. Yes, sir.
Yeah, they're a year.
Okay.
Any questions?
Board members, a motion is in order.
If there's no questions, Chief, I think we talked about this before, but I would approve, or I would motion to approve the purchase of the replacement fire engine for the Carmel Church Station.
You know,
Good try, Mr. Thomas.
he's just full of jokes.
I'll make a motion that we make the replacement, we purchase the replacement fire truck for the Port Royal Fire
Oh, I
Station.
misspoke, Port Royal, I'm sorry. Port
Second.
Well, you can second it if you
I have
Royal. Port Royal. You know.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second that we would approve the purchase of the replacement of the fire engine for the Port Royal Fire Department as presented. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, there are none, obviously.
Can we have them be in next year's Bowling Green Parade as the last parade for the fire truck?
We could talk to Chief Jenkins is here and John Wilkerson, both at Port Royal, and Dave is nodding his head.
The old
So-
truck.
The old truck, can we have the old truck in next year's Bowling Green Parade for the last time? That would be great.
To shape
Thank
it
you.
in, though, you might be pulling it with something.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief. And that takes us to information of calendar items.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, county offices will close tomorrow at noon and remain closed through Friday. Will be closed Friday for the Thanksgiving holiday. There's a reception for the new librarian, Amy Lilly, on Tuesday, December 1st from 5 to 7 in the EOC. Did want to call your attention, you should have a flyer at your desk that Caroline High School Military Appreciation Night is at the first home basketball game, which is December 2nd at 7 p.m. The board is invited to that. Chairman Taylor mentioned the Senior Citizens Gala, mentioned that again, December 3rd from 6 to 9 at Caroline High School. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Thank you very much. Excellent job.
Thank you.
Okay, that takes us to the closing board comments. Mr. Thomas, do you have any?
Mr. Chairman, I forgot to mention one during my opening board comments, but with regard to the VRE station in Spotsylvania, I'm not sure who in staff is working on having Fred connect with that from Caroline or a bus from Caroline to there. Mr. Parton, do you know, or is that tourism or economic development or somebody?
I've been in touch with the Fred director about another matter, so I'll bring that to, yeah. Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Black, do you have closing board comments?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Mr. Underwood?
No, sir, Mr.
Mr.
Chairman.
Akers?
No, sir.
Mr. Sealy?
No, sir, Mr.
And I have none. We have no closed meeting? Okay, move to adjourn is in order.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and second that we adjourn. We now stand adjourned.